What's going on, everybody? So we'll call this video "Who the Heck is Hannah Kang 2?" So in the first video, I actually tried to explore Hannah Kang's relationship with Ti and Tiny, and the reason behind the altercation with Sabrina Peterson, and why Ti felt so strongly about allegedly why Ti felt so strongly about coming out and pulling a gun on Sabrina Peterson, right? So we don't know that that actually happened, and we don't even know if Hannah Kang actually got in a fight. All this stuff is alleged, and there's been quite a few interesting theories posted on my videos. I think Maria Slavinsky, she says that it really doesn't matter if Hannah Kang was in a relationship with Ti or if she was just simply a business partner, co-manager of one of his companies, and she was just handling his affairs. She probably was just a friend, or she probably was just someone he cared about and he wanted to protect. That fits and that makes sense. But on the same token, I think there was some type of relationship there that makes sense as well. And then Rodney Williams, he came along and he basically said something along the lines that Sabrina Peterson was talking about how she dog walked Hannah Kang and how she was basically beating her up or something like that. But he didn't really provide any receipts. And these receipts are important because without the receipts, we can't really say any of this stuff is true. They're just rumors, right? So right now we still don't know that much about Hannah Kang. And then I actually got some information from what's her name, Ruth G. And Ruth G sent me several stories that basically talked about how Hannah Kang was having Ti's baby. I think she sent me maybe 2 or 3 stories, but the only problem with those stories is that they're repeats of the same stories that I actually read in the same video. I looked at every single one of them, Ruth, but they're all the same. They're just repeated on different websites, so we don't know anything about Hannah Kang, right? Until she comes out and says, this is my son, his father's Ti, or someone else comes out and they confirms this theory, then we really just have rumors, we have speculation, and that's pretty much all I have on this channel as it pertains to Hannah Kang. Now, while we're talking about speculation, let's talk a little bit about polyamory. So I was actually trying to figure out what this term was, and one of the viewers I'm focused came along because I couldn't remember the term. I was like, there's a term that explains open relationships where you're comfortable with your partner seeing another woman or another man, and the other man, the other woman, and you guys are sort of one big happy family. There's a word to describe it. And I was looking up all types of crazy stuff. I think I came up with a lot of computer terms that didn't quite, fit. And I think my wires got crossed, because I am into computers, and actually I go over that term in the first video. But polyamorous or polyamory is specifically a theory or an ideology whereby you have this open relationships and you are seeing someone else and your partner knows the person that you're seeing, and everyone is perfectly fine with what's going on. And I speculate, right? This is a room. It's not even a rumor. I don't even want this to be thought of as a rumor. I don't want it to get circulated around. It's just my speculation. That's it. And I speculate that Ti and Tiny and Hannah Kang could be in a polyamory relationship, or a polyamorphous relationship, if I'm even saying it right. So the reason I say that, because if you think about it, I think many people get trapped in these relationships, and I'm using the word trapped in lack of a better word, but you get into these relationships and there's really nothing you can do about it. Think about it. Let me give you an example. Let's say you and your ex, well, let's just say you and someone get together, right? And you guys decide that you're absolutely in love, and then you go off and you have a baby, and then what happens from there is that you guys separate and you I guess you grow apart, you can't stand each other, whatever the reason you guys separate. And now you have a child with someone, and because you have that child with someone, you're tied to that person. So what happens from there is, because you guys are separated, naturally you will go off and you would start new relationships. So now what happens is that you two still have to coexist because you're co-parenting, but on the same token, what happens is that now you bring two new people into the relationship. And when you go to drop off the kids, maybe you'll see your ex's girlfriend or partner or whatever. And you're going to have a good relationship with that person in order to co parent. You're going to have to accept that the other person has another woman that is in your child's life. That's just the reality of the way things are now. And well, you don't have to accept it. Don't listen to the non-lawyer telling you that you have to accept it. But I would accept it. I would advise that you accept it because you want everything to go smooth. You want peace and you want harmony in your relationship. But here's a freaky thing that can happen. Because you still probably have feelings for this person, and because you have a unbreakable bond with this person, you're still attached to them. And there could be a situation whereby you end up creeping with your ex. You end up creeping with your ex, and you're not actually getting back together with your ex, but you have a slip, and you fall into your old feelings, and then you end up sleeping with your ex, but your ex is still in a relationship with his partner. So now you have this complicated relationship where you've slept with your ex and your ex is in a new relationship. So typically what could happen is that there would just be total chaos, and maybe your ex would leave his new partner and come back with you, or vice versa. Your ex could just say, hey, what we did was wrong, let's not do that anymore, blah blah blah. But the point is, you have an unbreakable bond with your ex. So another thing that can happen is that your ex's partner could know about you creeping with him and choose not to do anything about it. And in that case, you have a polyamorous relationship, because you have a situation where your ex and his partner have a don't ask, don't tell policy. And on the same token, you're actually still seeing your ex from time to time. That is a polyamorphous relationship, and these things do happen. They do happen. So I mean, if you have experience with this, leave your comments below. We want to hear about it. I personally have seen things like this happen. So it's not surprising. It wouldn't be surprising, right? Because like I said, this is all alleged, and I don't actually know if T.I. has actually done any of these things, right? Or him and Hannah Kang has done this. So here's the thing. It wouldn't surprise me if T.I. fell out with Tiny, and while they were separated, why they fell out, he ends up exploring new possibilities. And it just so happens in this theory that Hannah Kang is one of the people he explores a relationship with, and she ends up pregnant, right? That's my theory. That is not fact, and that is not an allegation. I'm just playing devil's advocate, and I'm just throwing that out there, And in that theory, I can see where, even though he is back with I mean, even though he's back with Tiny, he still has a bond now with Hannah Kang, and he still has a duty to Hannah Kang. He still has a duty to Hannah Kang and his newborn child, right? If such in theoretically, right? Because like I said, none of this is fact. So I can see him pulling the gun on Sabrina Peterson. Pulling the gun on someone is a very strong thing, and typically, whenever you mess with a man's money, his food, or his family, you're going to find yourself in some very dangerous territory. And I can see that in my mind, Sabrina would have had to mess with one of those things. Maybe the altercation was about money between Hannah Kang and Sabrina. Maybe the altercation was about his family, right? You know, it could have been about one of those things, you know. So, that's pretty much my theory on all this. Let me know what you guys think. Questions, comments below. At this point, though, we still don't have any receipts on Hannah Kang. All we know is that she is a co-manager or co-creator, I believe I read the other day, of some of his business ventures, or at least one, Gang Hustle Records, I believe it is, right? So that's all we know about Hannah Kang. Other than that, we don't know much. Um, if you have any receipts, definitely share the receipts. But rumor, just throwing this out there. I thank everybody for the information. I thank for the feedback that people have given me. Keep it coming, and we can continue to talk about these things. Ruth G, thank you. Maria Slavinsky, thank you. And actually, Maria, there's another video that I plan on making sometime in the future. And I actually think I owe Small Fry a video about Daryl Johnson, which I'm working on, but things just got a little crazy. And also Rodney Williams, thank you. So keep the questions and comments coming, and perhaps we'll make another video about the legal aspects behind polyamory or polyamorphous relationships. And let me know what you think about polyamory relationships or polyamorphous relationships. Have you been in one? What was it like? Did you have some type of fallout? Let me know how it goes. Let me know how, that worked out. That's it for this video. Questions and comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe.